As I'm sure every human being in existence knows by this point, Union Pacific Big Boy 4014 is currently embarking on a huge coast-to-coast tour from California to Pennsylvania. Why? Well, according to Union Pacific, it's to celebrate the nation's 250th anniversary. Now, you see, this excursion was going to come through basically my backyard, so I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity to see it. Now, I have seen 4014 before, back in the blissful times of 2024, when Union Pacific wasn't using actual psychological manipulation techniques to distract the world from their terrible monopoly and ruin my life. Moving on. The excursion reached Chicago on June 4th, 2026, and there the standard Union Pacific OCS consist was combined with the Norfolk Southern OCS consist, making the full consist of the train, UP 4014 in the lead of course, decked out with white wall tires, extra lighting, and flags on the front for the excursion, the two auxiliary water and oil tenders, NS 1776, the brand new Bell 250th anniversary unit, UP 1776, a disgusting slop unit, 12 Union Pacific OCS cars, and 4 Norfolk Southern OCS cars. This train was given the Norfolk Southern Special Move symbol 061 for its journey from South Holland, Illinois to Fort Wayne, Indiana, with a planned stop in Argos, Indiana. At about 9:40 a.m., it departed South Holland, Illinois the following day on June 5th, 2026. This was my call to leave. I left my house, picked up my buddy Private Panzer, and we headed down south to try and catch Big Boy. Since we knew chasing it would be impossible without it stopping, we decided to set up in Argos, Indiana so that we could see it, then it would stop, and then we could go see it while it was stopped. Seemed like a faultless plan. No, it wasn't. It was very flawed, and you're going to see why. Anyways, the journey down was, not fun. There was a lot of traffic, and I don't even think it was people going to the Big Boy. Maybe it was, but there was a lot of construction too, which didn't help. Supposedly, from what I heard, over 20,000 people were also heading to Argos on this day, which I didn't know at the time. I knew there would be a lot of crowds, but 20,000 people? That's crazy. The entire town of Argos was swamped with people, and we knew that was going to be the case, so we decided not to go into Argos proper. We decided to set up at a small crossing on the west side of it. Once we made it down there and turned off the major highway onto the country roads, we could see several other people also heading towards Argos to go see the Big Boy. However, there was only a few. You see, I had picked a location outside the town because I thought, well, all the normal people who aren't Railfans will think, oh, it's stopping in Argos, I'll go to Argos, and not know that it'll go through other crossings. Yeah, I was dead wrong. When I arrived at the crossing, this was my live reaction.
Holy!
We're not abandoning. This is what we're doing.
There's a track right there.
Holy manoli!
This is what we're doing.
The crossing we found ourselves at was Muckshaw Road on the west side of Argos, almost on the border between Argos and the neighboring town of Rutland. This crossing is normally completely abandoned with very few trains and cars passing over it every day, but in anticipation of the Big Boy excursion, it had actually been repaved, which was nice. As you can see in these photos, a line of cars stretched down the crossing on both sides, where people got out and stood up close to it, anticipating the arrival of Big Boy. We were there for about 45 minutes, waiting for it and chatting with other foamers. Eventually, we saw a plane, yes, a plane, flying over the Big Boy, and we knew it was close. We soon heard the whistle in the distance, and it was another 20 minutes, because the train was crawling along at a measly 19 miles per hour through here, but eventually, after quite a wait, we saw steam appear through the trees, and eventually 4014 rounded the bend and came by us, much to the excitement of everyone there, including a dog. Yep, there was a dog there. Listen for the barking.
No, that's the NS 1776. NS 1776. So Liberty Bell engine. Oh, very cool.
Needless to say, it was surreal to finally see 4014 under its own power for the first time. This one run-by made me go from, holy moly, why would anyone ever do a mainline steam excursion? That sounds awful. To, yep, I totally get the appeal. I was so happy after this shot. After reviewing the footage, I was kind of upset with how crooked it was, but overall I think it turned out okay. Also at Muckshaw, I used the opportunity to get a low angle using one of my mom's old cameras. Honestly, this shot was so good, I kinda wish I filmed with my camcorder from this angle. After that, we decided to head to Ironwood Road. This was the crossing that Big Boy would be stopped at. Now, remember earlier when I said nobody's going to be at these random crossings because they're all just going to be at where it stopped in Argos? Well, yeah, it wasn't stopped in downtown Argos, it was stopped at Ironwood. And I don't know why I thought that I'd be able to get in where it was stopped, but, I definitely could not. This is where the bulk of the people were, and holy moly, just looking at these drone images makes me very glad I didn't decide to go there. When we drove past Ironwood on our way east, we were like, no! We drove even farther down to the next road, Hickory, and we were like, no! So in one last-ditch attempt, we drove down even farther to Gumwood Road, and eventually found ourselves on South Filbert Road. We were so far east by this point, we were technically in Tippecanoe, Indiana. This was a dirt road by the side of a farm. As you can see, it was definitely not intended for this amount of traffic. The other road, they at least had the decency to repave, but not this one. But hey, I'm not going to shame on Argos too much. They actually did a great job preparing for this event. Either way, once we got there, I went up to the crossing and looked down the road to see this view of Big Boy. You can just barely see the headlight behind all of the crowds. However, I didn't shoot from the crossing because of this. The nearby farmer was sympathetic to the amount of foamers that were here, and so he opened up the back of his field to us, allowing for this absolutely beautiful shot to be possible. Since there was a huge field along here, the foamers were able to line up and not get in each other's shots, aside from these three jerks that climbed on the track, as you can probably see. Either way, I knew this was going to be an amazing shot. I would make up for the somewhat poor shot at Muckshaw. By the time we got here, there was only about 10 minutes left of Big Boy's scheduled stop, but we ended up having to wait a lot longer than that, since the police needed time to clear everyone off of Ironwood, just to be safe, before 4014 departed. Gotta give props to the Argos Police and Union Pacific. They both did a great job ensuring the safety of all the foamers. They even sent a police car and a fire truck down Filbert Road to ensure that nobody was on the tracks before Big Boy departed. Eventually, the all-clear was given and Big Boy departed Ironwood, and as soon as it had cleared the crossing, they threw it into maximum throttle and it started accelerating like crazy. It was going much faster than it was at Muckshaw when it passed me here at Filbert. I'm going to let this full clip play out, so you can enjoy the sights and sounds of the steam as much as I did. This is genuinely my favorite shot I've ever filmed. Absolutely beautiful. Since we were now all exhausted and there was no hope of chasing Big Boy any farther at that speed, we decided to head home. The journey back also sucked, not only because of the construction and traffic, but also because a truck decided to crash and block our only way back onto the main road. So that was fun. But eventually, Panzer and me finally got back home. This trip was definitely interesting, although very fun. And trust me, I did not go into as much detail about all these shenanigans as I could have. But we all had a great time, and I can't wait for the westbound run in July. Let's just hope we don't have a repeat of CP2816's Mexico tour. People, try not to get killed by this train. Oh, and if you're planning on catching it on the Red and Blue Mountain in Northern or in Scranton or on Horseshoe Curve, just give up. Just don't even try. Don't do it. You've been warned. Mark my words now. Somebody is going to die at one of those 3 locations. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to catch those Norfolk Southern units while you can. Oh, you thought I was going to say Big Boy? No, remember, this merger is absolutely going to happen. It's imminent death. Catch those Norfolk Southern units while you can. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video, and go watch another YouTuber who isn't constantly complaining now. Okay, bye-bye. Bye. Bye.